Hey guys, musicninjamat here. Bit of a different video in a way because I'm going to be doing some comic books, but 2 trailers dropped as well. And the thing is, rather than making 2 separate videos, which I don't really have the time to do, I thought I'd chuck everything in this video. I'm going to be chucking timestamps down below for everything I'm going to talk about in this video. So let's start with the trailers. We had the Endgame teaser trailer that came out because tickets finally went on sale. I have my tickets now for Endgame. It was a nightmare getting them. Like, every website and phone line kept crashing because everyone wanted their tickets. It was a much shorter trailer, just showing the team that we had. It was all about that Cap and Tony reunion for me though. And at one point it looked like we got an older Tony from the future speaking to Cap. Other things we get to see was Pepper was in the trailer, Thor's new weapon, Hawkeye now has that cool tattoo sleeve, seeing the team all going into space, so it's going to be a very cosmic Avengers film. We actually do get to finally see Cap himself with the shield, confirmed it's Cap, and a really nice moment of Cap, Thor and Tony walking into battle. They're the 3 that have really been the focus of this Marvel universe and the 3 that have had their trilogy movies, all that kind of stuff. It's the end of their journey. We also had a Joker trailer that dropped. And this pleasantly surprised me. It showed full on, it is going to be his origins. Even where did the concept of the clown come from? It shows his relationship that he had with his mother. It shows as well his very tall and skinny physique. I think it suits the character. Also really good use of music in this trailer. But we get to see things like him being mistreated, and you see throughout the trailer he's just slowly snapping and losing it. I just thought it was a really cool touch as well, seeing Joker actually smoke, because I've always pictured Joker as a character that would. There's a really good line in there as well, where he says, "I used to think my life was a tragedy, but now I realise it's a comedy." And I actually do love the full costume. It's very much grown on me, and this film is set to be released in October. Let's jump into the books then, guys. Of course there will be spoilers for both books. So we're starting with Major X #1. This is both written and drawn by Rob Liefeld. A nice little touch I like is these. It stands soap boxes and they've got different dates on them. They're putting different ones throughout new issues now. I really like that. So the plot with this. Major X, our title character, he attacks the X Mansion and he starts a fight with Cable. Major is clearly from a different time and place, and he has a much older looking beast with him. He beats Cable, but then it becomes apparent he actually needs Cable's help to help save his world. We go backwards then and we get to see where Major X is from. And he's from a place called Existence, which was created by the Essential. It's a place where there's complete peace for mutants. It's almost like a haven. But Major X has a feeling it's going to collapse. It does end up completely collapsing. The Essential is missing, and both this older beast and Major X are able to warp out of the world before it collapses. We go back to the present day and Wolverine shows up. A fight breaks out and Cable ends up taking Major down, and Major explains to them that he needs their help to save his world. We then have a character called Dreadpool turning up. He is from Major's world and he's been hired to stop them. Another fight then breaks out and Deadpool shows up, and he ends up battling and Dreadpool manages to escape. We then get the reveal that Major X is actually Alexander Summers, Cable's son. The art in this book is a mixture for me, because we get some pages like this where I like the art but it's a little rougher around the edges, and then other pages which are actually quite highly detailed. I really like the character designs, especially the design of Major X. And there's a really good moment where we see a voice off panel, which is Wolverine. But if you look closely, you can see the reflection of Wolverine in Major X's helmet. So that's that page just by there. So the writing, it's a very 90s feel, and it's not overly cheesy at first, but it does slowly get there. And I like how a lot of it is written in entry reports from Major X. It's a good way of letting the reader know the ins and outs of what's going on. And Major X is just a really cool character. He's strong and intelligent and interesting. The older Beast is hilarious. He's so well done. He has a line that says, "What in Xavier's shiny dome is happening?" And he makes little quips like this throughout. I really don't like, however, how Wolverine is written. This is where it starts getting really cheesy, is with his dialogue. But there's a really cool detail in that Major X's blade is made of adamantium, and it's actually forged from the skeleton of the Wolverine on his world. As you can tell as well from the plot summary, it's a very action-heavy book. And finally with the writing, Deadpool. He's amazing in this, and I've missed seeing Deadpool in books because I myself just haven't really read a lot of books with him in. But he has amazing lines, of course. One that really stood out is where he's trying to figure out who Dreadpool is, and he's like, "Slade, is that you?" Which I thought was a fun little joke. There's a little advert in there as well for the Savage Avengers, which I think is Jericho, Conan, Punisher, Venom, Elektra and Wolverine. Yeah, this little advert here, it's a cool team, but I probably won't pick it up. Overall, I actually thought this was really fun. It's got great action and some really fab writing. Only downside is it does get a little bit cheesy at times. Moving on now to The War of the Realms issue 1. This is Marvel's next massive crossover event, and it's got a really nice cover, one of the wraparound ones. So this is written by Jason Aaron and drawn by Russell Dauterman. So the plot, we get to see a brief history of the 10 realms, and it's like a really cool intro that says, "And this is the war that ravaged them all." We get caught up through some text that Malekith has been going around attacking the realms. He's already overtaken 9 out of the 10. We also find out that Thor has lost Mjolnir but has loads of other hammers now, and the Rainbow Bridge has been broken, but Malekith is able to travel around using the Black Bifrost, and using this, Malekith can bring the war directly to them. So we start off, we see Odin, he's sat in Asgard on his broken throne, and he's assassinated by some dark elves. The idea is that they're going to start taking out all the strongest characters. We see Thor on Earth, and Loki comes crashing down, and he says, well, Malekith is here. Thor demands that Loki take him to Malekith. They travel to the land of the Frost Giants, and we see that Loki was actually Malekith himself. We get to see Spider-Man then, we're back on Earth, and he's swinging by, and he ends up helping out the Asgardians that are on Earth because the Dark Elves are now attacking. And then the war just bursts out, portals opening everywhere, and Earth is under attack by all different kinds of creatures from all the different realms. And we just see all our different heroes like Daredevil, Punisher, and they start taking notice of the fact that this war's just broken out. So naturally there's a huge battle, everybody's getting involved. The real Loki arrives at one point to save his mother from Laufey. Loki cuts off his arm, and then Loki actually ends up getting quite brutally eaten by Laufey. And the war rages on, and then we see Thor is trapped with the Frost Giants, just waves and waves of them coming at him to stop him from interfering in this war. The art in this is highly realistic, really cinematic, it's just beautiful, and it just shows you the epic scale of this event. It's hard really finding one example, but I think this shows you it's cinematic and realistic. The writing, again, just the way everything's laid out, very cinematic structure. This book even has a theme song. It's advertised in the book, it's on marvel.com, and it's really good. It's really epic. I was really excited at the start because you get to see the cast, seeing characters like Blade are going to be in this, and it helped me realise a few things like the fact Jane Foster is no longer Thor, and we saw within Malekith's army he has leaders from other realms that he's conquered. The opening as well, I really liked it, the way Odin was acting where he's grumbling and saying, oh, a terrible time to quit drinking, and when the assassins turn up he straight away jumps into action. I actually for the most part really like how characters are written. And I just like how everything weaves together in this story. Spider-Man especially is written so well, he's so funny, and his interactions with the Asgardians are just brilliant. They're really charming. There's a few moments that I'm just like, that's great and that's great. There was Punisher with this murderer in front of him, and as the murderer's like, we need to run away, Punisher just shoots him. Punisher runs, jumps on this big monster, and is like, oh, I wish I brought a bigger gun. Just a really badass moment. It just kind of hit me that this feels very much like the MCU in a way, with how jokey and light-hearted it is. However, I will say, this is one of the things I didn't like about the book. Sometimes it's a little too much with the jokes. Obviously, as I said, I was excited to see Blade was going to be in this, and when he turns up with the Avengers, people are like, oh, Blade's here, and he's like, I'm just as surprised as you are. Some of the trolls as well see She-Hulk beating up monsters, and they completely fall in love with her, and I mean, who can blame them, right? And the last moment within the story and the writing that I really liked was Malekith doing his big speech about being the new ruler of Midgard, and you just see Cap's shield hit him in the face, and Cap's like, nope, and just rallies the Avengers. Some other things that are in the book, Cloak and Dagger Season 2 that is starting this month, and I actually really liked Season 1. We get to see all the tie-ins because, of course, it's a Marvel event. There's loads of tie-ins, and it shows you just how many heroes are going to be part of this event. It's like all of them, and we get to see some of them in like Asgardian armor, which is actually a really cool visual. However, the only one I'm really fussed about is the War Scrolls one, and there's also a little picture in the book of Miles Morales from Into the Spider-Verse with an Oscar, just to celebrate the fact that the film won an award, and I thought that was really cute. Overall, this book is just delightful. It's a huge epic event, a great story, and just old school, old-fashioned comic book fun. It doesn't take itself too seriously. There's great character interactions throughout. As I said, the only downside is they pack jokes in next to each other, and there are certain characters cracking jokes, and I think you probably wouldn't make jokes in this situation. But yeah, those were my thoughts on those trailers and on these books. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, as it really helps the channel out. Check out the links in the description down below. Check out the whole channel, especially the playlists, and I will see all of you in the next one.